Welcome to Unleashed. I'm your host, Will Bachman. Today is the 5th episode in our 6-part miniseries on enhancing the client experience. Episode 128 kicked off the miniseries with an intro. Episode 129 provides tips on enhancing the customer experience during the proposal phase. Episode 130 focused on the kickoff phase. Episode 131 discussed the project execution phase. And today's episode has some tips on the wrap-up phase. We've already had a final progress review, so we are now in that closeout phase. So without further ado, let's get to the list of ideas. Number 1, package up the final deliverables. Consultant Jay Martin does a really nice job of this. Create a folder of all the key files you created over the course of the project. And also create a spreadsheet that lists all those files with columns for file name, format, and brief description, and perhaps who created that file. Hand over these files via Dropbox or Box or a USB thumb drive, or however the client prefers to get the information. And include not just the files that you created, but all the files that were received from the client in some organized fashion, because not all client team members in the future may have ready access to those files that were so hard to pull together. Number 2, have a call or a meeting with the client to walk them through this set of handover documents. Number 3, identify the point person who will be responsible for overseeing that the next steps of the project get done, and make sure that you've identified owners for each of those individual next steps. Number 4, ensure that someone at the client understands the Excel model that you used, if appropriate, and how to update it. Number 5, outline any recommended training or skill development that the client should consider, and discuss that with the senior client owner. Number 6, provide that senior client with a one-pager on the next steps or key actions or timeline as a reference, one page that the person can tape up or on their bulletin board above their desk as an easy reminder of what has to happen next. Number 7, schedule a follow-up check-in meeting with the client. Just get it on your calendar and their calendar now at maybe 1 or 2 or 3 months out, depending after the wrap-up. So you have it scheduled and you have a reason to call them in the future. Number 8, conduct meetings with the client to receive feedback on the project, and then share that feedback that you received with the senior client, even the negative feedback, and address any opportunities for improvement that you heard. Number 9, provide feedback to clients, at least to those who you believe will be receptive to it. Number 10, to the senior client, provide confidential feedback on client team members. You obviously need to be careful with this, but you'll have to decide if it's appropriate or not. Number 11, submit your invoice promptly in the client's preferred format with all the required documentations, including the purchase order number, and make sure you get it to the right people. It's no fun for the client if they have to chase you for your invoice. Number 12, connect on LinkedIn with any clients that you worked with, if you haven't done that already. Number 13, have some kind of closing celebration with the client, maybe a dinner, something fun. Number 14, provide some kind of physical object to memorialize the project, if it was a major effort. Number 15, send handwritten thank you notes to people who helped out. Number 16, clean out your team room and destroy any confidential information. Number 17, return any physical assets that belong to the client. And number 18, return your security badges or any kind of keys to the team room. Hand those over to security. So tune in to our next episode for tips on how to enhance the client experience in the post-wrap-up phase. And if you found this episode helpful, I hope you'll share it with a friend or share it on social media or write a review on iTunes. That helps other people discover the show. If you sign up for the weekly Unleashed email, you'll receive a checklist that includes all the tips in this mini-series. And also every week, you'll get the transcript for the episodes that were published, some book recommendations, and consulting tips. Thanks for listening.